the place of geography, the Nigerian factor, long leg, who know man, who use abi, you know those things we do here. So because our system is indeed bad, a lot of the administrators themselves are bad. Some did not train for it. A few who are trained do not get to be where they are very powerful. And so incompetence becomes the watchword for a lot of them. They practice it and nobody owes them, nothing happens. And generally, you know, society is very corrupt. So corruption is also another thing affecting administrators. And like I said, we have this over-concentration on football in the country. And so some of the administrators that we have been talking about also lament the fact that when it comes to allocating money, football gets the lion's share. And some of them don't even get what may be up to 30% of what football gets. And apart from that, football gets also from Zurich. Again, government justifies it by saying it is the way you have come to interpret football. And indeed, when we sit down and look at Nigeria today, we talk about two sports, football and the others. And even within the sport of football, we have one team. The what? The what? You see, you all mentioned the Tikoro State. But as we have the Super Eagles, the under 17, the under 20, the Olympic team, the female national women did not speak. They didn't talk about the Falcons. So you see, that is, we will now tell you the impact of this on administration. We are going somewhere. We're going somewhere. So that is the way it has been. Now, when we look at the impact itself, the note they sent to us said 11:30 to 12:30. So I said to myself, okay, where's Madam Vivian? Okay, she's not here. The note she sent to us said 11:30 to 12:30. So I said, maybe I'll talk with her for just 30 minutes. So then we really prepare something very short. But it's difficult when you have the microphone and you have to talk sports. And you have again said, give us something professional, or professionally, as people professionally. So let me read something to you. This was the pamphlet that I used only in February, as I celebrated 50. And a few tributes came in. And one was from the chairman of the Nigerian Football Association, our good friend, Megari, as I now go into the impact of sportscasting on sports administration. I will not behave like a secondary school teacher who will tell you point 1, it has done this, point 2, it has done this. But as I give these stories, I will leave you to think out what impact there has been. And maybe as we close, we can quickly round off with that. But paragraph 2 of the letter from the NFF chairman says, and I read, certainly in the last 10 years, Sports Radio 88.9 Real FM has broken several grounds and charted new pathways in the history of broadcasting in Nigeria. The station, as the first 24-hour all-sport radio station in the country, has kept, and that's the important thing, has kept administrators, athletes, coaches, referees, and other stakeholders in the sports industry on their toes. So we're now going to the impact of sportscasting on administration. An administrator has said something there. So you can start picking out impact. Like I said, I will not start listing it one by one, like the old primary school teacher, who will ask for more job from the headmaster's office. Impact of our kind of work, sportscasting, on the work of administrators. The NFF chairman, I just read what he said. And I remember that in the year 2005, Nigeria went to Angola. We were struggling to qualify for the World Cup final in the year 2006. We needed to win in Angola, in Rwanda, so that the second leg in Kano, they took it to Kano, would be an easy ride for Nigeria. But when we got to Angola, Christian Chukwu was coach. They needed to change players. When he looked at the bench, Nigeria, a country of 160 million people, had only 13 players on the bench, with 5 more seats needing to be occupied by players who were dressed for the game. The match was not shown live here. And in any case, these days when matches are being played, you hear people say, will they televise it? And so when they say, will they televise it, television is narrowed to what? Sports casting. That's the impact, the power of this business that we've seen ourselves. Or they say, we don't want commentaries. We have political commentators, social commentators. But when you hear commentaries these days, it is narrowed down to sports. So sports, the impact of sports, people are beginning to respect sports more. And from that story, pictures were taken, cameras filmed the Nigerian bench, and those stories came back, and TV stations showed them. Radio stations reported them. That Nigeria went for a World Cup match with just 13 players. Instead of having 18 on your bench, mighty Nigeria had only 13. That threw up a lot of questions. Somebody somewhere needed to ask somebody somewhere why somebody somewhere was not somewhere. Impact of sportscasting on administration. Like I said, I will not give like old school teacher the stories, you will be picking them. Perhaps one reason Chukwu is no longer your coach can be traced to that. Perhaps why there was a change of guard in the FA can also be traced to that. Since that thing happened, people who functioned in the sports commission as DGs, big men, all swept out of office. Even if that was not the final thing used, it was added to their cup until the cups became full. 2005. And again, when we came for the second leg match, Nigeria-Angola, sportscasters were able to go to Kano, showed everything, talked about the people in Kano, how you can make them speak the language of the Eagles, teach them the song that they should sing, so that when they start singing, the Eagles themselves will know that these people are singing for us. Most of the players are not Hausa, strong arts. So if they have to play in Kano, also tell them how to greet the Kano man. How can the Eagles be friendly with the Kano people? How can the Kano people be friendly with the Eagles? How can they behave and know this is war? The issue of geography was also used. The texture of the grass came into play. We talked about the texture of the grass, the weather, that this was to play under 45 degrees. And so when it was 1-1, and referee officials started running, shouting, move now, move now. It was not the question of move now, move now. We filmed it, we talked about it, when our players, looking for just one goal, were asking for water. Somebody had earlier spoken. And after that, in annoyance, the former chairman of the FA, or the chairman of the FA at that time, said, qualifying for the World Cup was not our best right. And we went back to town. Today he is no longer chairman. Impact on sports administration. Can you see the little lines? Yeah. You are all graduates, so let's not do it the old principal's way. We went to town with our stories. We were sure of what we saw. We filmed the ones we could film. And when we say impact really of sportscasters, of sportscasting, on sports administration, let me not take away our colleagues who are on the print media. Indeed, it's a collective thing, because things they see and things they hear are also written. So collectively, the Nigerian sports journalist has done well. Little reason we are all under an umbrella called Sports Writers Association of Nigeria. Someone will tell the idea of SCAN, Sportscasters Association of Nigeria. We have not been able to do that, we may not do that, but we are happy as members of the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria. So when it happened, Nigeria did not qualify for the World Cup. Why didn't we qualify for the World Cup? Now we've lost it to little Angola. We all started doing our sportscasting on our programs, reports, reviews, news analysis. We said what happened, how it happened. Nike was even to pay the players for wearing Nike branded boots. Did they get that? Part of the Nike contract was that they would organize friendly matches to prepare the Super Eagles for the World Cup qualification. Did they do that? Why didn't Nike do that? How come Nigeria did not do its own part? Oh, Ghana has just played a friendly match. Puma organized for Ghana. And so sportscasting became another way of criticizing, of exposing ills, of educating the people that those who are supposed to be administrators have not indeed been hitting the nail on the head. They've not been up to speed in terms of assignments. Today, that FA board is gone. Impact. That FA board is completely gone. That set of players, except perhaps one or two, also gone. Coach, gone. Impact. No hiding place anymore for anyone. 2006, a senior officer in sports in Nigeria, big guy, said, who in Nigerian sports is not my boy? And I remember answering in Abuja that I am not your boy. And he took offense. 2008. But when he said that, so many felt that was bad. Why would an administrator speak that way? And they started taking on me. People started writing negative things about him. And in the year 2008, the then president removed him from office and sent him far outside sports. But he had made himself very strong and meshed himself in sports circles, had become a greater name in West Africa, in Africa, and indeed globally, and indeed had become a member of the global body that controls football. But people kept talking about things that he did over time in running sports and how sports was not moving forward. And so when you say the impact of sportscasting on sports administration, you find that it's not only sportscasting by Nigerians, it may also mean sportscasting by our friends overseas. He took sportscasters from England to interview him, and he said, and they asked him, without him knowing that they were recording him privately, how do we pay? And he said, pay directly to my account, direct. And that was how he was suspended and yanked off global football. The best that you can become, apart from being FIFA president, is to be a member of the 24-man team that organizes world football. The Nigerian was there. He took his case to CAS in Switzerland. The Court of Arbitration for Sports lost. And now he has to pay that penalty. And so impact of what? Sportscasting or sportscasters on administration. The Nigerian administrator wanted money to be paid directly. And it was faked, cut on tape. And FIFA too, trying to show that they are, although corrupt, but not wanting people to see it globally, quickly paid the sum of the UK and news of the world there. And then they killed the video evidence. FIFA bought it off. So that thing that was put there for everybody to see, nobody saw after 24 hours. Because to continue to see a Nigerian say, pay direct, was also bringing FIFA down. Just before Nigeria started the race for the tickets to the World Cup 2010, the office of the